Hi, welcome to Classic Car Cave. So I'm down in my lower garage, as you can see. So we've got a garage through there, and then this big tented garage, because on this part of the property you can't put up a solid construction. So because it's a tent, it's movable, so it gets over the planning permission. Anyway, let me go back to the subject in hand. So every year we have a lot of trees on our property. We've got about 6,000 square meters and a lot of trees, and that means a lot of leaves, and obviously they come down at certain times in the autumn, and then they'll shed, and then there'll be so many of them, and then by the time you have to go back again and again, so it's quite a big job. And I was thinking about buying a machine for picking up the leaves, and then I had a thought to myself, maybe there's something I can adapt. So over here is a snowblower. Now, I've had this machine for quite some years, but I haven't actually used it for approximately, I would say 7 years, because we haven't had enough snow for it to blow away. It's not motorized, it's a push type one which just slides on the snow and ice, and it worked quite effectively. It pulls the snow up on driveways. It's mainly meant for driveways, not grass or anything, because it's only got the back wheels on it, and you can lift it. You can tilt it from the front and just lift it up a little bit, and it throws it around about 6 feet or so, the snow. So I'm thinking, or I'm wondering, if I can adapt this to go onto the back of my ride-on mower, which I'm sat next to here, my John Deere. I was thinking, I wonder if I can adapt this to blow the leaves up into a sort of makeshift netting, so that the air can be blown out but the leaves will stay inside and I can dump them, and possibly even do it without the tractor, by putting on maybe a roller on the front and using it by hand as well, but keeping it off the ground. Obviously these blades are have got rubbers on them, so if I tilt this back, you can see it's got rubber here on the ends, and there's a rubber or plastic cushion on the bottom. Now I'd obviously have to replace that with some kind of roller or some kind of wheels, but quite large, or not large diameter, but a long one, because that would just dig into the grass and it would ruin the grass, because you couldn't have these hitting the grass as such. But I think if it'll pull up snow, I think it might pull up leaves, dry, light leaves. And then you've got this system here, which is just, you've got a handle there, so you just turn it, and this turns in different directions the way you want it. I'll show you how that works. It's very basic machine. You can see there how that works, and it just turns that to whichever direction you want, which I wouldn't actually need that, because I'd only have it in one position, going into a box that would maybe sit on top of here. I say a box, a lightweight frame, metal frame with netting over it, and a way of being able to pull the leaves out afterwards. But I think that might work. But as I say, it hasn't been run for 7 years, and it's sitting doing nothing. It's been under a bench because we've not had enough snow. This is good in one way. So I'm thinking, why not? The engine's great. It's a 5.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. I think it would do the job well. Okay, so in my little John Deere ride-on mower, this does pick up leaves, and you can see I've got a little hitch on the back here, so I could pull it along with that. This will pull up leaves, but unfortunately what it does, because it's got a twin deck on it, what happens is all the leaves get stuck here in the front, and they just kind of mulch over the top, and if you bring it too high, there isn't enough suction to lift them up, and if you put it too low, as I said, it just, some leaves go up, but it takes you've got to go over at least 5 or 6 times, which I want to try and avoid. That want to cut down the amount of time. So there is I know for a fact you can actually buy a machine to go on the back of these, and then the big hose comes down the side here, and goes onto the deck, attaches to the deck in some way here, and then you can take the hose off and use it separately. That might be the way I have to go if this idea doesn't work out, but we'll give it a go. So I've got it cocked over on its side just so it's easier to look at this carburetor, and I've blown it through It's a bit difficult to get the jet out because of the chassis, but I'll show you what I'm up to. But you can see in there just how rusty that bowl is. That's been sat for 7 years. I'll give it a little clean up on that side, you can see, with a bit of 120. So I'll give that a good clean out. Also, that shaft there, where the jet is, you can see all the emulsification on it, where it's all kind of caramelized, the what's left of the fuel in it. So I've given it a blowout. Very basic carburetor this. It's overhead valve, so it's not two-stroke. Yeah. So I've taken the float off as well, and again you can see with the float where all the fuel, the petrol, has just varnished everything up. So I'll give that a clean as well. One issue I've got is this priming suction is gone, unfortunately, as you can see there. The rubber is disintegrated, so it's not going to work as a prime, but I can get a new one of these, or basically the whole thing. If I have to, I just buy a new one, which is just for the priming bowl, to prime the bowl in the first place. So what I'll do is, before I put it back together, I'll put it all back together and then pre-prime the bowl up. Keep this above it so that the fuel can't come down from here. All this is doing is pushing that fuel up, and we'll see how we go. But yeah, it's just been left too long. 7 years was too long to leave it. What I should have done was drained it, basically. But anyway, I'll put this all together and see if we can get it going. It has already run, but just for a few seconds, sort of 10 seconds maximum, because the choke's not working very well on it either. But I know it runs, so it's not seized. It's very smoky, as you would appreciate after 7 years of being idle. But it sparked all right. I put a spark plug checker on it, and it worked well. I believe it's in here somewhere. But it worked well, so I know it's sparking, everything's good. And that's the on-off switch. Make sure that's on next time. And we'll see how we go. Okay, well, it runs. So, unfortunately, I think what's happened is there's a crust in the bottom of the tank. The fuel's not getting into the carburetor, and only by filling it up a little bit is the only way I can get it running. So, obviously that hose connection from the tank, I've tried putting air through, compressed air, with a rag down through it, but it's and the other side, but it obviously isn't enough, so I'm gonna have to take that tank off, but I think this is going to work. Okay. It's fairly obvious where the problem is. As you can see, that is just falling apart. That piece there is the hose. This is a little bit that's left, and that's gone. So obviously there's been fuel line in that. I have to get a new hose for it. So I took the carburetor off as well, because I couldn't get to the hose, just to check it. So that's exactly what it was. It was there was no fuel coming down. So I'm pretty sure once that's done, get a little kit for the carburetor. So they're very basic, these things. You can see how they work there. If I can hold that and operate that. There we go. A butterfly. And there's your little valve inside. Basic carburetor, but yeah, that's all it is. So I'll go down to my local shop and see if they've got a new one of these, a new hose, and I'll get. Maybe the clips are salvageable. Yeah, there you go. The clip's salvageable, but that's, oh my god, it's just like toffee. So there we go. I'll empty this now back into the fuel can. and get a new one in the morning. And I'll let you know how I get on during the week. If I can get all the bits for it, I can't see why not. So, as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and we'll see how we get on. Please come back and see how if it works, the idea.